subhanahu wa ta'ala for having blessed us, being the opportunity to recite and listen to His beautiful Quran in the form of the recitation of Surah Al-Tarawih. May Allah Azza wa Jalla accept those who have recited and those who have listened. Ameen. Today again, mashallah, various discussions took place, especially regarding various Anbiya alayhim salam. But there was one Nabi of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala whose discussion took place the most in today's Tarawih. And in fact, there was an entire surah that was discussing his incident, and that surah is named after him as well. The Nabi of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam. Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam, Nabi of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, was known to be extremely handsome. And today we'll discuss his story. I'm going to try to keep it brief. Allah Azza wa Jalla mentioned in the Quran, this is the best of stories. Ahsanul qasas. So inshallah Azza wa Jalla, we'll try to keep it brief, but we'll try to go through as much as we can of it, inshallah. The surah starts in which by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling you that in the story of Yusuf alayhi salam, Allah Azza wa Jalla has made it the best of stories. Ahsanul qasas. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then tells us the story. It begins with Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam being a young man, young boy, and he goes to his father and he says, "Oh my father, I had a dream." And he tells his father of his dream. He says, "Oh my father, in my dream, I saw the sun, I saw the moon, and I saw 11 stars, all of them making sajda to me." So his father was a Nabi of Allah, Sayyidina Yaqub alayhi salam. He says, "Oh my son, don't tell your brothers about this dream. Don't tell your brothers about this dream, for they're going to plot against you." He understood the meaning of the dream. Nonetheless, as time went on, the brothers noticed that his father, Sayyidina Yaqub alayhi salam, is very protective over the son, Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam. That when all the other children are going out to play, he would keep Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam with him. He wouldn't let him go out. He wouldn't let him join the other children to go far away. He was very protective, very concerned regarding this child. And the brothers then had this feeling in their heart that our father is giving special attention to Yusuf alayhi salam, and we are not liking it. We want that attention. We are strong. They said, "وَنَحْنُ عُصْبَةٌ," we are very strong. We are young men. We are the ones that can assist him. But he's worried. He's looking after this one child. And Yusuf alayhi salam, he said, "No. Now, in order to get our father's attention solely for us, we need to devise a plan." And their plan that they spoke of is, they said, "We must kill Yusuf alayhi salam." Then one of them said, "No, we can't kill Yusuf alayhi salam. Rather, take him and place him in a well. Place him in a well and leave him there. So in that way you'll manage to get rid of Yusuf alayhi salam." So they went to their father and they said, "Oh father, please send Yusuf alayhi salam with us." Father said, "No, how can I send him with you? I don't want to send him with you, because if I send Yusuf alayhi salam with you, then my concern or my worry is that you may not take care of him and a wolf may eat him. A wolf may eat him." That's what the father said. They said, "No, my father, how is it possible that a wolf can eat him, can steal him from us, whilst we are strong young men?" So eventually, after much persistence, their father said, "Okay, you can go, you can take out Yusuf alayhi salam." They took Yusuf alayhi salam. What was their plan? They said they're going to take Yusuf alayhi salam and place him in a well. So they went far away, they put Yusuf alayhi salam in a well, they lowered him into a well. After they lowered Yusuf alayhi salam in a well, and then they went back to their father, and Allah Ta'ala says they went back to their father, Yaqub was crying. And they said, "Oh father, really a wolf ate Yusuf alayhi salam. Really a wolf ate him." So what they did is they took the shirt, the qamis, meaning like the kurta of Yusuf alayhi salam, and they dipped it in fake blood. Fake blood meaning not his own blood, rather they slaughtered a sheep and they put the blood onto the shirt and they took the shirt to the father. So the father looked at it and the father told them that, he said, "Indeed Allah is with those who have sabr." He spoke about sabr and he says that, "I know that which you do not know. I know that which you do not know." Nonetheless, he left them. Then Allah Azza wa Jalla tells us, now after Yusuf alayhi salam went in the well, what happened? Then Allah Ta'ala says that a caravan came. The caravan was traveling, meaning some people were traveling in a group, and whilst they were traveling in a group, they came to this point where they reached the well. And one of them went to the well and lowered the bucket into the well, and then he raised the bucket, and he saw that, hey, there's a young man here. He said, "Ya Bushra, hada ghulam." Oh people, congratulations, I found a young man. So this caravan, they took this young man and they said, you know what, we'll go on a little further. As we reach the next country or the next city, then we can sell him in the market, because at that time even slaves were being sold. They went to the marketplace and they got to Misr. Misr is currently Egypt. They got to the marketplace and they had this young man, handsome, striking young man, Yusuf alayhi salam. And they sold him in the marketplace. Allah Ta'ala says they sold him for just few dirhams, meaning a small price. And who purchased him? The king of Egypt. The king of Egypt saw this young man, this handsome, striking young man, and he purchased this young man. So he took this young man and he told his wife, who was the queen of Egypt, that please, you just look after him, let's keep him at home. Maybe as he grows, he can be a benefit to us, and as he grows, perhaps we can adopt him as a son. So they took care of him, he grew up. And as he grew up, he grew a little further, he grew older, then Allah Ta'ala says what happened to him. Now, since he was so strikingly handsome, the wife of the king, the wife of the ruler of Egypt, she saw him and she was very attracted to him. So she one day approached him in a closed room with evil intention. And as she approached him, he said, no, indeed I fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I cannot go towards haram. So what he did, in our understanding, he bolted for the door. He ran towards the door. What she did, she grabbed onto his shirt to try to stop him from running away. But he still tried to run on, and thus his shirt got torn from where she grabbed it. His shirt got torn, but when he reached, he was heading closer to the door, and the door opened. She found that the Aziz, meaning the king of Egypt, he himself was standing at the door. Now she sees, the king sees this and says, what is this that's happening? So she says, no, he actually approached me with evil intention. And what can you say about the one who does so to the family of the king? Indeed, this person needs to be jailed. So Yusuf alayhi salam says, oh Allah Azza wa Jal, even jail is more beloved to me, is more dear to me than going into haram. I'd rather go to jail. Allah Ta'ala accepted that, he went to jail. So he went to this prison. And when he went into this prison, there Allah Ta'ala tells us of a story, another story within that story, that he met two men. Two men came into this prison as well. And they told Yusuf alayhi salam, they saw him, they thought, oh, this man looks like a good, pious man. Two of them had dreams, and they said that we must go to him, he'll interpret the dream for us. So they went to him and they said, we see you as a good person, we want to tell you of this dream that we had. So one says, I had a dream, and in my dream I was giving drinks. I was giving like a wine or drinks to the people, or I was giving drinks to the king. So please tell me, what is it that my dream means? Another one says that I saw that on my head I was carrying bread and birds were eating from that bread. Yusuf alayhi salam said, I'll tell you what it is, the interpretation of the dream by the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But before your food comes, I'll tell you first, just listen to me. And he starts giving them da'wah. And he tells them that is it better to worship many gods, or is it better to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone? And he gives them da'wah continuously, and then he gives them the interpretation of the dream. So this is also a lesson for us, that when someone is happy with us or impressed with us, that's your opportunity for da'wah, don't waste it. Give da'wah at that point. Nonetheless, he then tells them the interpretation. He says, the one who you were serving drinks, you are going to be the cupbearer, meaning the one who serves drinks to the king. And then the one who birds were eating from the bread which was upon his head, he told him that you are going to be executed. You're going to die. You're going to be killed. And the birds will come and eat from your head. So he told the one, and then eventually this happened. But he told the one who was going to be the cupbearer of the king, he told him, please, when you go to the king, please just remind him of the incident that happened with me, that he should look into this and I should come out. Nonetheless, he went on. The one was executed, the other one became the cupbearer of the king, but he forgot. He forgot that I need to tell the king about Yusuf alayhi salam. Nonetheless, they went out. After some time, the king told his advisors, those who were close to him, he said, you know what, I had a dream. I had a dream and I don't know what the interpretation of this dream is, please help me. So they said, okay, what is the dream? He says, in my dream, I saw 7 cows. 7 cows that were very fat. And then I saw 7 cows that were very thin. And I saw the thin cows eating the fat big cows. And then I also saw 7 ears of corn, like wheat. And I saw 7 of them that were fresh, and I saw 7 that were dry. Now, I don't know what it is that this dream meant, but if any of you can interpret dreams, please tell me of the interpretation. Nonetheless, they said, this cupbearer, he said, I know someone. I know someone who interpreted my dream and someone else's dream, and I realized that both of the dreams came true. That means his interpretation is correct. Just give me some more, give me some time, I'm going to go back to him, I'm going to discuss with him. So he goes back to Yusuf alayhi salam and he says, you know what, this is the dream of the king. Please tell us what it means. Yusuf alayhi salam says, tell the king that now 7 years of drought is going to approach. 7 years of drought is approaching now. And these 7 years of drought, before we go on, first 7 years of goodness is going to approach. 7 years of goodness meaning things are going to flourish, plants are going to flourish, animals are going to flourish as well. A lot are going to be produced. And in this time, when you are going to eat of that which you have, please keep whatever corn and whatever wheat it is, keep it within its casing. Only eat how much you need and store the rest. For these 7 years, store the rest. And thereafter, 7 years of drought are coming. And those 7 years of drought, when that comes, and you no longer have any produce, then you need to look towards that which you stored and slowly eat from that. So he goes back to the king and he says, you know, this is an interpretation. And who told you? Yusuf alayhi salam said. So he says, okay, call him. And thereafter, when Yusuf alayhi salam came out and came to the king, Maaf, I know I'm going a little bit over more than I normally go, but it's a very interesting story of Yusuf alayhi salam. Let's just finish. Tomorrow, inshallah, I'll start making it brief again. But Yusuf alayhi salam came to the king, and then the king said, regarding your case, what is the case? And then the lady of meaning the wife of the king, she came forth. And she said, really, it wasn't him that was wrong, it was me that was wrong. It wasn't him that was wrong, it was me that was wrong. And then Yusuf alayhi salam was given honor and respect, and he was placed as the one who was in charge. The one who was in charge of the affairs of the kingdom, the one who was in charge of doing the storage for the 7 years and then the distribution. I've left out some parts of the story, but nonetheless, this is just the main crux of it. So as Yusuf alayhi salam started keeping, so he said, okay, please appoint me over keeping, to keep whatever it is, to store whatever it is that we're going to harvest. The king appointed him and he started storing. For those 7 years, he just distributed how much was needed, he stored the rest. After the 7 years, the 7 years of drought came. When the 7 years of drought came, everyone started coming from all over. They started coming to Yusuf alayhi salam that please, now we are in drought, we are in difficulty, please assist us. And he started assisting. So he started assisting through the 7 years. And as he was assisting, guess who came to him? There was a point at which those brothers that put him in the well, they also came. And they came and they said, we also need assistance. They didn't realize this is the same Yusuf alayhi salam whom we placed in the well many years ago. Nonetheless, they came and they said, we need some assistance. So he started assisting. He gave them. And then when he gave them and he said that, don't you have a brother as well? They said, yeah, we have a brother, another brother. Now the youngest brother, his name was Binyamin. Binyamin was the youngest brother. He stayed back and the father became very protective over him now after he lost Yusuf alayhi salam. So they said, yeah, we have another brother. He said, please bring that brother, then after that I'll give you. So when they loaded the camels, he loaded the camels and he sent the camels, and when they arrived they found, okay, we do have lots of grain that was sent in the camels, plus the money that we wanted to give to Yusuf alayhi salam, to the Aziz, the king, the one who was overseeing the affairs of Egypt at that point. The money that we wanted to give, all that was returned. They said, oh, our father, please, he asked for us to please bring our brother, please give us a chance. He said, now I must give Binyamin, just like how I gave Yusuf alayhi salam. Same thing's going to happen. They said, no, father, that's not going to happen. Nonetheless, he sent Binyamin. When he sent Binyamin and they got to Yusuf alayhi salam, Yusuf alayhi salam called Binyamin and said, hey, I'm your brother. I'm your brother. Whatever happened, don't worry, I'm fine and I'm safe. And then he made an arrangement, or he made a plan to keep Binyamin with him. How he did so, he took his cup, meaning the measuring cup of the king. He took that and he placed it in the camel load of Binyamin. And he said, as they were leaving, an announcer announced that, hey, you people, are you thieves? They said, no, we didn't come to steal. They said, what's missing? They said, it's the cup of the Aziz, the cup of the king, the cup of the one who's distributing. That has been stolen. A very valuable cup. So they said, no, we didn't do so, but whoever's load you find it in, then you can deal with him. So Yusuf alayhi salam ordered them to search from the other end, search everybody, and last he came to Binyamin and the cup was taken out. When the cup was taken out, he said, no, now I have to keep it. So he kept his brother with him. They sent him back. The father was very, very sad and Yaqub alayhi salam. But nonetheless, when they went back and eventually they came back to Yusuf alayhi salam, Then they said, oh Yusuf alayhi salam, please, we are in need of more. He said, no, now please go and take this qamis of mine. Take the qamis of mine, meaning my shirt, my kurta, and go back to your father. And place this over the eyes and over the head of your father. He cried so much, Yaqub alayhi salam cried so much that he suffered blindness due to his loss of Yusuf alayhi salam. They said, now go and place my qamis, my shirt or my kurta over my father's blessed face, and you will see that his eyesight will return. And then bring him to me. When they went back, as the shirt was coming towards the city, the area of the father, Sayyidina Yaqub alayhi salam said, I can smell Yusuf alayhi salam. I can smell Yusuf alayhi salam. He said, oh father, you are still lost in that. You lost Yusuf alayhi salam so long, you still lost in that. He said, no. They brought the shirt, they placed it over his eyes, and his eyesight returned. He said, didn't I tell you? I know Allah Ta'ala taught me that which you don't know. Remember then I told you that I know from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I know that which you do not know. Nonetheless, they went to Egypt, and when they got to Egypt, they entered Egypt and they came towards Yusuf alayhi salam, and Yusuf alayhi salam placed his father and his mother upon urush, upon arsh, meaning upon thrones. And the 11 brothers came, and the father and the mother were upon thrones, and as they came towards Yusuf alayhi salam, they all fell into sajda towards Yusuf alayhi salam. Yusuf alayhi salam said, oh my father, that dream I had back then when I saw the sun and the moon and 11 stars prostrating to me, today Allah Ta'ala showed me that became true. Subhanallah. That is the brief discussion of story of Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam. Very intriguing, from his youth right up to his success. Subhanallah Azza wa Jal, where he started distributing and assisting and helping the people of Egypt. Allah Azza wa Jal grant us the way to learn of the Anbiya alayhi salam, their blessed lives, their blessed ways, and to follow in their footsteps. Ameen bijay khatamin nabiyyin. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Mawlana Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Wa barik wa sallim wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.